In week 3, lesson 4, let's take a look at the different roles a virtual teacher may have. We'll think about some challenges virtual teachers may face, and then I'll tell you about my experience of a typical day on the job. The virtual teacher wears many hats that may include a homeroom teacher, technical support, content expert, counselor, curriculum designer, attendance clerk, event planner, and more. The role of a virtual teacher is different depending on the program, grade level, content area, state, size of the school, and much more. A newer, smaller virtual school or program may require more variety in tasks from the instructor due to the size of the school. As the school grows, however, roles can become more specific and focused. Ideally, an online teacher focuses entirely on student accomplishment of course objectives, primarily via individual communication about student work. Most virtual schools relieve teachers of course design duties by using teams of curriculum specialists, content experts, and instructional designers. This allows teachers to direct their professional attention to students and their families. The virtual teacher's role is to get to know individual students' strengths, weaknesses, learning styles, and interests. If the school already provides curriculum and lesson materials, the teacher modifies the pace and lesson content for students as necessary to make the learning personalized for each student. The teacher helps students schedule time and learn to become independent learners. Individual support is provided through emails, synchronous sessions, and providing additional supplemental resources. The virtual teacher also must comply with state requirements to document attendance and student work. On the optional material linked to on the course resource page, I put links to both K-12 and Connections Academy's sites where they explain what it's like to be an online teacher at each. According to NEA's Guide to Teaching Online Courses, an online teacher should have the skills on this slide and the next two. We'll go over each of them. First, understand the language of online education. Revise, write course documents in the learning management system. Use learning management system elements effectively to facilitate course design. Design, evaluate, and deliver online course with appropriate standards. Use technology to support course design. Incorporate internet resources into course documents. Communicate an appropriate online tone. Foster student-to-student discussion and collaboration. Provide appropriate and timely feedback to students. Participate and be present in an online course, meeting student needs and school expectations for teacher presence. Intervene appropriately when students misbehave online. Communicate appropriately with students in one-on-one and group settings. Communicate with students, parents, school administrators, and other teachers via a variety of online and traditional means. Provide course materials to students in a timely manner. Track whether students are registered and enrolled in the course. Keep track of student participation in online courses. And provide students with basic technical support service, recognizing which issues should be forwarded to technical support teams. So a lot of these roles maybe you've thought of before, but these are published by NEA again, and I'll link to that resource on our course resource page. As you peruse the document called Going Virtual, Unique Needs and Challenges of K-12 Online Teachers by Lisa Dolly and Carrie Rice for this week's reading, you will notice some of the challenges virtual teachers face. Many of the challenges virtual teachers face can be attributed to the change of environment. Some teachers find the office environment or working at home a challenge and find it hard to be away from the classroom. Teachers may miss the daily face-to-face interaction with students, especially if they find it difficult to build a virtual community or feel they lack the time to do so. Learning to be supervised at a distance may be challenging too, if that is part of the virtual experience, as well as supervising students at a distance. It can be difficult to know if the students are doing their own work or even completing lessons at all. It can be challenging to get a hold of some students. Virtual instructors must feel confident in working with unmotivated students lacking self-discipline and support, and to know when to recommend a different school program in which a student may be more successful. Getting used to the curriculum provided via technology can also be challenging for transitioning teachers. Choosing, developing, and/or designing curriculum is the, quote, challenge of moving from teaching within walls to teaching with no borders, according to Kavanaugh and Blumeyer, 2007. Staying up to date and current with latest technologies and learning to use the technology to differentiate and individualize instruction for all students can be a task to master. One of my favorite aspects of virtual teaching as compared to a traditional classroom experience is that bells do not order me around. For the most part, a virtual teacher manages his or her own time and schedules time for staff meetings, professional development, student calls, grading, planning lessons, holding synchronous sessions, being available for office hours, field trips, testing, and responding to emails. Many of the things that a classroom teacher would like to have time to do are the day-to-day tasks of a virtual teacher. Without having to maintain and entertain a classroom of students, time can be spent on individualizing education. My experience is that of a full-time virtual program where students are not required to have face-to-face meetings. Again, a day may not be as flexible for a virtual teacher, part of a blended program, but for the most part, teachers can have increased flexibility in their teaching schedules. So let me tell you what a typical day looked for me like at Connections Academy. So I would get to work about 8 a.m. and log into the learning management system, Outlook email, and instant messaging system. Outlook email and instant messaging systems were for staff communications only. And I communicated with students through email through our learning management system. I stay logged into all three of these all day, check my calendar and review my to-do list for what I think I can accomplish in the day. Before 9 a.m. I worked on grading and responding to emails. And then after 9, I can return any calls from the previous day or make calls that I need to make. Sometimes I answer my phone, and sometimes if I'm in the middle of something, I let it take a message and return it as soon as I can. I may attend a staff meeting or attend a professional development training session. I may plan my next synchronous lesson, hold a synchronous lesson, or open up my virtual classroom for students to drop in and ask questions. Another thing I appreciate about the virtual teaching schedule is the consistency of our school year cycle. I have weekly and monthly routines that I can rely on and plan around, but I also have the opportunity to add variety by planning and attending field trips to meet students, be involved in school committees, administer state testing, and help run information sessions for prospective students and their families. So there's a consistent schedule with some variety added in.